what makes the Sentinel Arms AR-15 different from the rest. That's what we're going to explore in this video. There are several things that we do just with the, we call it our standard, but our standard is exceptional for everyone else's line of work. And so I'm just going to point out some of these things that you may not see on pictures, on general descriptions of our rifles, just because they're built in. It's kind of, this is our base level. So starting off with the trigger guard, you're going to see here we have an oversized trigger guard. The reason is, if you look at standard mil-spec trigger guard placement, they're going to be flat across, and when you're wearing a glove, it may be a little difficult to get your finger inside there without accidentally depressing the trigger. So with an extended trigger guard, you have a lot more room, whether you're wearing a glove, with finger protection. There's more room inside the well here to put your finger. Again, this is just a standard part of our builds. Another thing that you're going to see is either anti-walk or anti-rotate pins. The reason for this, again, we do this on every single build we make. That trigger and the hammer, if you have mil-spec pins in there, those pins move along with the trigger and hammer. And over time, that friction is going to, it's going to begin to warp your pinholes. And you do that too much, your lower is rendered useless. And so that's something that we put, again, on every single rifle that we build. Selector, while we're here on the lower, this particular selector set up at the 45-degree off put, but ambi selectors, there's a few things that we always do. Ambi, your charging handle is always going to be ambi. And then with the lower, you'll see here, there's a bolt release on the right-hand side. That's part of the ambi platform as well. And so your lowers, they're gonna have, of course, your mil-spec bolt release on the left side, but ambi on the right side. Then while we're on the lower, if you look in here, this is what they call a tension screw. There's a spot for the tension screw right here, close to, but not the same as your grip screw hole, but tension screw, and you'll see the little green dot in there because there's one installed in this lower. This isn't needed for, well, it's really never needed. It's a luxury item. But what this does, after maybe 30,000 rounds, you might get a little play in between your upper and lower. This screw will go up, if you tighten it, go up and push against that upper receiver and just make it a little more tight, take out the play in it when your upper and lower are connected with your takedown pin. So again, that's something that you really don't see on pictures, you know, and even on the rifle, unless you take it apart and look, you're not gonna see that feature. Standard A2 grip, piece of junk. I'm always putting a texturized grip on there. It just makes the gun feel better. It costs more money, but I think these things are junk. So don't like that. And then throughout the rifle, including the end plate, we have QD sling attachment points. So man, these QD slings are wonderful, and they will just, like, here's the end plate, just clips right in there. So if you look on the rifle, right here on the end plate, we have a QD point access. On the stock, there's one on each side. And then we build this into the Handguard. Also has QD points built into it. 1, 2, flip it over, 3, 4. So if you want to run your sling up close, you got that option. If you want to run it far away, some of the guys that pull out like to run it there. Anyways, it's integrated throughout there. Those are little things you might not notice just looking, and that's why we always recommend and keep on hand the QD slings. A couple other things about the handguard while I have it. You can see it, yeah, if I put it right here, there's these little tabs. So there we go. Little tabs, what that does is it just secures and aligns your handguard onto the upper receiver. So there is no misplacement. This will never get out of alignment. And there's some tabs that integrate into the barrel nut. So even if for some reason your screws came out, as long as that tab is in there, this is not going to pull away from barrel nut. It won't. If the screws came loosened, it definitely wouldn't. Even if it came out, it would still take a little fidgeting to get your handguard off of the rifle. Again, we do that just for functionality to make it battle worthy. What else do we have? A few things on the upper. Again, it might be hard to see just looking. You see a little reflection there. We try to use stainless steel with the upper barrel and gas system. Here we have a fluted barrel, which we use almost exclusively, unless, like this rifle, customer requests a barrel that's black, so there's no reflection. But unless we get that specific request, just because of the heat that's going through the barrel, I prefer the stainless steel. I also use stainless steel gas block, stainless steel gas tube. So everything that we're running through the gas system is all stainless. Longevity of life is important, right? We're building rifles that last a lifetime. And it may look like stainless, but it's not. Our bolt carrier is actually nickel boron coated. This is very hard and slick coating. This makes it run smooth. We like our firing rate, and misfires or malfunctions are very, very limited. And it's because of some of these little details that we put in there. So saying all of that, that's just this is our starting line. There are a few upgrades you can do. Triggers, we prefer to do something more than Mil-Spec. This has Mil-Spec Trigger in it. We prefer something a little more. If you want a folding stock, we can provide that. Of course, optics are outside of what I've just showed you. But starting baseline rifle, we build them. This is the goal when the company was started. We want to give you a rifle that doesn't need anything upgraded. So when you get your rifle, you can walk away, basically throw an optic on it, and it's ready to go to the range, and you don't need to upgrade anything. That's why we wait on triggers until people order, figure out what trigger, because we do like a competition grade trigger or the binary double treble trigger. But other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot to upgrade. Maybe if you want to get it Cerakoted or just do some finishing, a gun skin, you can do that. But I hope this video is helpful. Hopefully it gives you a picture of some of the features that sets Sentinel Arms apart from the rest. And of course, if you're interested in how you might own one of these, leave a comment below.